People.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On with Mike. On
What?
the mic with Mike.
You forgot your name?
On the mic with Mike. This part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Rich 106.1 and Choice 105.3, International Business Group Radio. CW Richmond, Fridays and Wednesdays and Fridays, 5 a.m. The wheels have come off already. You know what happens when the manifester is in the house? Danielle Gilbert, my HR guru, she is here. But you're not here in the HR realm today, are you?
No, I'm
you're
not.
Because you do, Gilbert and crew do a bunch of things.
We do.
You do a bunch of things, yes. A bunch of things. Even rescuing me from Hall Street. Well, you didn't rescue me from Hall Street.
I did not.
The mister.
He did.
In bad weather.
In bad weather.
And he up under the car.
Going down raining.
Yo, man, if you don't get up from under there, I had no explaining to do for your wife while I car ran you over. Throw this crap back to your crib. I'll get an Uber and we'll take care of this tomorrow.
But he got you straight.
He did give me, and he checked on me on the way home.
See?
That's
customer service.
Yeah.
And home training. I know, because I got it. One of Mike King, ESPN Rich 106.1 and Choice. Danielle Gilbert is here, but we're not here today talking about HR. You brought some people with you, some experts in their field, authors.
Yes.
Authors.
They are authors now.
Authors.
Yes.
Published authors.
They are published authors.
All right. So Danielle, real quickly, tell folks who you are, then you introduce your friends to us.
Absolutely. So I am Danielle Gilbert, your serial entrepreneur, international speaker, author, and life coach. And I'm the owner, chief HR officer of Manifesting You Consulting, where we simply help small and medium-sized companies with their HR departments. That's what I do.
That's what you do.
Right. So part of that, the reason why we're here. So thank you, Mike. Shout out to you for just being an amazing supporter of the Gilbert Company. We appreciate you. But today we're here to really shine light on a project that I have been working on for the past 3 months. This is actually my second collaboration book where I help individuals share their voice. I've given them a platform to not just become published authors, I can't even talk, authors, but also being able to give them the opportunity to share their testimony. As I always tell people, their testimony is not for yourself, it's to save someone else. So today I have Tandra, I have Jamaica, and I have Sky, which is 3 of the 8 authors that's part of Releasing the Shackles, Surviving Abuse.
Right, and the first one was called
The Unvoiced Pain.
Okay, so ladies, welcome to the program. You're a realtor, aren't you?
I am.
She is.
That's where, and when people talk about brands don't work, it works. You had a video when you were riding in a car.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a fire video.
Never.
It was. All right. Okay, so tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Tandra Deverell, and I'm a real estate agent, and I service the Central Virginia area. I am in the book, and I'm in the book by no default, by the way. So Releasing the Shackles is the name of the book. And I am honored and delighted. And my sisters, I call them my sisters because we all share similar stories, and we have been elevated for such a time as this. And so I'm just pleased and welcome to be here, and welcome and excited to meet my sisters that have those same walks that we have made together, but we survivors of those walks. So that's the story.
One of the things I always say about people, you don't see what people have been through with the finished product. It's not the finished product, but it's the product that the streets see.
That's right.
And so what you're doing is, so you're going through whatever you're going through, putting it down on paper, sharing this. My mom would say your mess is somebody else's message.
Somebody else's
Because it sure don't seem like a message to you. You're saying, this is a hot mess. Yes, it is.
Hashtag hot mess. Let's be clear.
Hot mess. But it's your hot mess.
Yeah.
But you've been going through it, and next thing you know, you tell a story and somebody gets something out of it. How'd you make it till tomorrow?
Yes.
Next up, ma'am.
I'm Jamaica, and I'm also a co-author in the book with these amazing ladies. I'm a warehouse analyst for Sawyer Brands, and I'm just happy to be here.
All righty. Very quickly, just a tidbit. What's your story about?
My story, well, the title is Stay Woke.
Okay.
I gave it Stay Woke because at one point I didn't think I could stay woke. My chapter is about surviving domestic violence.
when was the time that you figured, okay, I think I can stay woke now?
At the hospital.
Okay, well, we gotta, you know what, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
that's a media tease right there. We just
Yeah.
can't drop that. We can't give everything away from the
No.
book. How can people get the book real quick, Danielle?
So they could get it from me, but I don't want you to buy it from me. I want you to buy it from one of the co-authors.
Okay,
So if you go onto my page, Danielle M. Gilbert, you go to Tandra, Jamaica Scott, any of the co-authors, they have their own personal links where they're selling the book. So buy from the co-authors.
yeah, buy the book.
Yeah, just buy it, period. So
Buy the
whoever
book.
you,
Because you know the line I always use, the microphone ain't free plus my grandkids need stuff.
yeah,
That's what I always use. But yeah, exactly. Grandbabies, no.
yeah.
Let's not go down that road. Them shoes got Jordan's name. I ain't trying to give him no more money, but I don't have no control. I have no control over that. Artie Sky, come on, step up now.
Yeah, because they can't see you, Sky.
Hey, I'm Sky. Nice to meet everybody. I'm here today. I'm a co-author again in the book that we released, Releasing the Shackles. Thanks to Ms. Gilbert, of course.
Yeah.
I'm basically my full-time job. I'm a mother of 10, so I'm very proud of that. My chapter. I knew you was gonna have it.
In the middle of her. Really,
Wait,
that's
the
what we're
mother-
doing? No, she does not. And you moved though, because the people on the live gotta see her.
Amazing,
You got battle scars from 10.
my goodness.
Boys be happy.
I got 3 boys.
Okay, really, because one of the reasons I stopped you, I was an only kid for almost 14 years.
Oh.
And when my sister comes along, I came home with a wife and a baby, and my sister was in the 2nd grade. But my wife was 1 of 8. And whenever I would go to New York to her family, my mom would say, whatever you do, don't be you. Like, what is that? Like, basically, don't be scared of people. And that's what you learn. And so you get that, so when you hear a person with a big family, I always had bunk beds just so somebody could stay. Like, yo, can I stay? It's like when you tell people you got 10 kids. Do they do like I just did?
I was about to say pretty much the same reaction.
But you have a set of twins.
Yeah.
Yes, my
Oh,
twins
she
are
had-
one.
Yeah, she has a set of twins.
It's my wife is a twin. So, all right, so you got a twofer right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything else? Say.
So, that could be a whole nother conversation.
That could be a whole nother book.
Like a show, a book or something. Like I didn't, don't step up here.
Gotta see you, Sky.
I didn't know. Samara Lemon, what's happening? What are you doing? Samara, he is the host of the Lemon Drop, my man out there. Henrico, high school football player. He is host of Lemon Drop, talking about disability and showcasing people how they can overcome adversity. So really quickly, back to your story. And this is therapy for me. So you didn't know you were coming here to be a therapist, did you?
No.
No, you didn't. So I didn't know that you parent kids different. Because it was just me. I thought you just parented kids.
Yeah.
And so, when my wife was coming like, you can't treat them different, you can't treat them the same. It's like, but you just think they're your kids.
Right.
You don't know that they're 2 different, 8, 10 different people there. You just did your thing because I didn't see my parents have to do anything else. It was just me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really quickly. So how do you know what buttons to push? Who's the one who is mom's helper the best? Which
That'll
one?
be my oldest. She's about to be 17 next month.
Yeah, I was oldest. It's hard on the oldest.
That's
They-
good.
Oh, give me a break. And most of the times that teaches them a lot of leadership skills
Mhm.
that helps growth, right? So we always like the oldest gotta watch out for the youngest, but we think about leadership, right? This is also a business show.
Yes,
So
it
we
is.
think about the ability to give them the skill set, the resources and the tools that they need to be great leaders in the world.
That is true. Artie, well, thank you for that. Artie, Danielle, so we're here talking about the book. When you finished the first one, what was the idea to come up with the next set of authors to talk to?
The idea really just came to me as soon as I had finished the last book conference called The Unvoiced Pain, Releasing Depression and Anxiety. The entire thought process as he takes a selfie of us. It was really around how do I help others who are also suffering from abuse. And so that's where the name came from. It was like really there's someone else not just suffering from depression and anxiety, but they also suffering from abuse. And typically what I do is just put out the word that I'm looking for co-authors. And these ladies reached out and was like, I'm ready.
Okay. Do you think that we're at a time now where it's easier for people to tell their stories? And I would think, oh, and the other one, it seemed like it'd be easier for women to tell their stories too, because men a lot of times like, how you doing? I'm great. And the wheels are falling off.
Always great.
I'm
Always
great.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell you a story though, really quick. So I'm actually working on the third collaboration book called I have one man that has joined. It's called The Naked Truth: Uncovering Depression and Anxiety. So believe it or not, I actually have the man, his name is Tim Williams, and then I have Tiffany Winfield, who was in my first book. They both, without telling their whole story, have gone through some level of depression, anxiety through divorce. So I have a man's version of it and I have a women's band of it. So I'm excited about, yeah. So to your point, men are starting to come out.
I think the pandemic did help it because Corona sent everybody home on time out. Before, you just went home because you couldn't hang. You weren't strong enough to hang.
You were you was forced, right?
Yeah, everybody got sent home and you just sat there over and over again. How long did it take you to agree to jump on the project, to tell your story? Really quick, or you had to think of, oh, man.
Especially after I spoke with her energy while you writing.
Yeah, she gets
Makes you feel stronger than you. That was what you were.
That was good.
I knew I had to do it.
All right. How about you?
I figured it out, well, when she first posted it about it, because I actually went to her last release of her book in person. And when I tell you, like, it was just the most moving experience, and you could truly feel the pain in the room, and you just, hearing somebody else tell their story, and then you kind of like, I kind of went through this, like, let's talk about it, like, you just come out more, like, she just made me want to come out of that shell, because I've never shared my story or anything I've been through in life with anybody. Like, I've always been that person, because I feel like people look at you as a weaker link when you start. So I just felt like when she posted it, I was like, I want to do this.
Had you ever, when you started writing, so you put it down on paper, are you a journaler? Do you write things down a lot?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. When the things you do write, do you go back and read them?
I do.
You do? What do you say when you read them?
Wow.
That is,
Wow.
that is so. When my mom passed away, and that was in '97, I never did that for writing. Then some years later, I went back. I was like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
this was. And now sometimes maybe a person say you write when you write through it, or either you just read it and be like scared. I'll never put that down on paper. But it doesn't help by not putting it down on paper. What was the hardest part when you wrote your story? Real quickly, all right, tell us your story as much as you want without giving away the store, because we had to have people buy the book. People
buy the book
and go to there and give us your social media so people can. And also tell where to go get it.
Yes, so upsherise.com is where you can go to get it. And the name of my story is Up She Rise. And it was like really rising up. And Danielle had to help me towards that rise. I did not rise alone, I must say. So I wasn't like Sky. I wasn't like immediately ready. In fact, God had to do some interventions. He had to bring Danielle to me. So it was this amazing opportunity just to see the manifestation and the reality of who God really is. And if you don't show up, then he will have that person show up on your behalf. So I'm grateful for that. So after having that, I was ready.
Okay, so now you're ready, you're writing it, and some of those times of doubt creeps back in. When do you know you had it?
When she had to submit that chapter.
Whitney had to place a phone call.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone telling Whitney I can't do this. And Whitney was like, you have to. The world needs you. They need your story. You have to. So after having that confidence and just started writing, and the rest was history. And it was just amazing how many things just came back up that is in the subconscious that came to the forefront, so that the message could be very clear and so that it could help somebody else along the way.
Real quickly, on the microphone, Mike King here. These ladies, it is Releasing the Shackles. I thought they had a reading fountain there for a moment. Releasing the Shackles. Alrighty, Danielle, we always talk about relationships. Talk about how often does Whitney have to talk people down off the ledge about not pressing that button?
So first, let me shout out Whitney Brooks.
Yes.
She is the owner of Empowering Her Publishing. Known Whitney for a very long time, and she is my rock to all of this process. So Whitney is someone who also is my manifestation sister queen, who really helps women. And I'm not just going to say women, she helped individuals tell their story, right? And so there's many times when she takes over the project. So she's my publisher and editor, right? I find the wonderful people and she actually produces the products. So the book that you held up, the previous books, the third one that I'm working on, Whitney is the brains behind that. So it's plenty of times where she's talking to authors and she's like, y'all got to submit it. So she is very strict. There's a 3-month deadline. We produce our books within 3 months. There's no plan. She wants it done and she'll be on the phone telling you like, I'll come to your house, but we need to submit it.
We need to come down, so don't be looking out the window either.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some smoke.
Yeah.
All right, really quick, okay, so how long did it take you to write your chapter?
Honestly,
She give y'all what, 30 days?
it was a little bit longer.
Maybe 45?
45 days.
It took me about a day.
Yeah.
Okay, you knew your story, and you were ready for your story to come out, because you had sat there and heard people tell their story.
Yes, heard them. Amazing.
I kept writing mine out, making changes to it, starting over. So probably at least about a week.
When you were done, was it done?
It was done.
You knew it was done.
I was sending it to Whitney. It was done.
So all of the stories are juicy. All of them, and when I say juicy in a sense of like reading it, it's suspense, it's mystery, it's sad, but it's also rewarding. And so reading all of their stories, but reading Jamaica's story, I had like some serious tissues.
When back in the day, I hate to be like the old person, back in the day when we.
But we
wrote
talked
something-
about that, right? Because you are.
Yes, I'm a seasoned. That's what I've learned. I'm seasoned. I'm not just old. I'm a seasoned professional.
So did somebody else tell you that?
They did.
Oh, okay.
It was me and Steph Pete, the guy said season, and we say, you know what, that when you got too much seasoning, you start taking medication because too much seasoning ain't good for you.
I'm salty.
Exactly. That is so. The idea of it back in the day was you wrote your thing, you had a diary, you locked it in a box, you put it under the bed, you hid it away. Now everything we just put it out there for the world to see.
Exposure.
There you go. How do you feel when you had to put it out there?
Nervous. I felt the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell that some people that were very close to me was like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
But what I did know was that my promise and my commitment to the Lord meant more than anybody judgment. So I stuck with that and that alone.
Because what you said, my mom said, when you stand that day, you ain't got nobody standing with you. You're gonna be there. You have to do some explaining.
And your story in the grave is no good to anyone.
Yeah. That part.
I heard that.